Hi guys, just giving you another installment of a weighted workout. So you can do these exercises without weights, but actually if you've got some dumbbells or a kettlebell to introduce, then that would be really helpful. So we have two lots of 3 exercises, and I'd suggest that you do them in these kinds of sets as well. And like I've said previously, if you're working for if you've got kind of light weights, go for between 10 and 15 repetitions of each exercise. If you're going for atrophy, so you've got heavier weights, go for between 8 and 10 repetitions of each exercise. And every exercise we do, we're looking at doing at least 3 times round. So let's start with our first exercise, a goblet squat. So we're down. You can do these from any angle, but normally I go for kind of just further than shoulder width apart. It's a nice, comfortable, steady base. And we are holding the weight here in front of us. So whether you've got one dumbbell that you're holding or whether you've got a kettlebell, and the idea is that we keep the weight here. So we've got the shoulders back, we squat down, and then we come back up. Okay, so we're keeping that weight in front of us. We're not moving the weight anywhere as we move. We're keeping it nice and tight to the body, and all the work is still in the legs. So that's your goblet squat. Second exercise is a bicep curl. Now I want you to really focus on, if you are hypermobile in particular, not overextending this elbow joint. It's very easy to do when we add the weights. So we are focusing, we tuck the elbows into the arms, and again, if you've got dumbbells, you can do these at the same time. But if you've obviously just got the one kettlebell of the same weight, do one side and then the other. Always start with your left. I should probably mention that. If you are right-handed, always start your exercises with your left hand or vice versa. So if we're doing the bicep curl, we'll stand really nice and tall, feet shoulder width apart. You can have a little bit of a bend in the knees if you want to, but the main move is from an almost straight arm up to the shoulder and then slowly back down. And see how I'm not overextending the joint here? We're just doing a bicep curl. Making sure you keep your shoulders nice and still. What we don't want is this kind of movement with the weight. If that's how you find you're finishing your set, the weight is far too heavy. So drop down the weight, make sure that it's a really nice strict bicep curl before we start moving the weight. We shouldn't be encouraging that shoulder to move at all. So that's your bicep curl. Third exercise of this set would be a tricep dropback. So again, whether it's with 2 dumbbells or whether you've just got a kettlebell, we take the weight behind us. Let me just pop this up, sorry. Take the weight behind you. So we're here, elbows really nice and tucked to the head, and we are dropping the weight behind our head and then fully extending. So here, drop and extend, drop and extend. As we drop down, we're feeling the pull here, okay? As we come up, there's a bit of a relief. If you need to rest at any point during that move, I would highly suggest doing it at the top and not at the bottom of the move. Make sure you rest here if needs be. Really pull that core nice and tight though as you're doing this. So you should feel this not only in the arms, but you're also going to feel it in the core and probably down the sides of your body as well as you're moving. So again, you can do that with 1 kettlebell or 2 dumbbells. Okay, so that would be your first set, and then you would do that 3 times. 3 times minimum, 4 if you're feeling like you could really go for it. And then your second set is going to be bent over rows, which look like this. So we are standing with feet shoulder width apart. I'll show you front on and side on. It's a renegade, really. So we're bending right over so that you're parallel with the floor, basically. So we're bent over and we're just single arm row, keeping that weight really nice and close to the body. And we want this elbow to be tucked in. So we're bent over here. Squeeze in the elbow. When we come down, we don't want to drop the shoulder and twist. We want to keep this really nice and straight. So if you're struggling to begin with, hold on to something, whether it's a chair or, like in my case, the kitchen side, just to make sure that your shoulders are staying level. And the idea in this position is that we're squeezing, we're pinching those shoulder blades together the whole way through the movement. Okay, so that's your bent over row. Then we have side bends, so a little bit more into the core. So again, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, take your dumbbell or kettlebell in one hand, and then we are dropping down to one side and squeezing back up. Dropping down to one side, squeezing back up. You can do this the reverse as well. So if you want to lean with the side where you've got the weight and then squeeze. So we're using these oblique muscles, the sides, to pull the weight up. And again, you can play around with the tempo with this. So you can go down really nice and slowly. You can pause and then squeeze up, or you can just slowly down, slowly up, however you feel. One thing to note is that when we start to get tired, we can begin to lean forward with this exercise. So make sure if you've got seams on your trousers, either track that with your middle finger so that you're staying upright, or just be really focused on the fact that we don't want to lean forward with this move, okay? We've got to keep this all really nice and tight. And then the last exercise is called a wood chop. Now, I wouldn't go with too heavy a weight for this to begin with, because this is quite a heavy workout on the arms, but also we don't want to do ourselves any injuries. So again, if you've got your dumbbell or your kettlebell, arms are bent, and the movement is basically shoulder to hip, shoulder to hip, and then you do the same on the other side. You can kind of twist the hips into it if you want to get a bit more of a pull in the core, but it's that movement from top to bottom. And when we come to the bottom, so when we come to the hip, we're really pulling the weight in, bending that elbow back. I don't want any straight arms swinging like a golf swing. It's got to be bent from shoulder to hip. Awesome. Give that one a try. Drop me a comment to let me know how you get on, and I'll see you on the next one.